Alright, welcome back to the second addition to the series. We're going to be working on the Wild Mouse coaster right now. So we're just getting the basic layout done really quickly. The Wild Mouse coaster is very basic, it's just a lot of turns and drops. It's nothing special. So I'm going to stay a little bit quiet during most of this, and you guys can just watch the video. Alright, now, because the layout's down, I'm just going to test it, and then just making sure everything is right. Eventually I do change one little thing, a few little things in this. Then I'm going to like go around and change the colors, so I'm changing all the trains to be different colors. So that they aren't like, so they aren't, all the same, because Wild Mouse typically, they'll be a little bit different. And now I'm going to start working on the station. I actually was very I wasn't very confident in this station. I thought it was going to turn into a disaster for most of the time I was building it, and that is like 90% of this video is me building this stupid station that took me forever because it looks freaking weird. So watch me painfully try and figure out a lot of this, like just positioning and all that, and then later on I'm just like, I'm going in, I'm just like filling in all these empty spots. And then I decided to go out and like add a little ledge, a lip to all of this. Like that. And like it's like I redid this like 6 times, I swear. It was really annoying. See, I'm just redoing it again. And now I had to edit this because I originally had it wrong. You gotta get the rotation right. Make sure everything looks good. Then, for some reason, a lot of it was just like not the same on both sides, so it was a lot of zero snapping, so a lot of it does look kind of unproportionate, like they aren't actually connected, like they're sticking out and stuff. I did add an extra lip here so that it looks good. That does a little bit extra here, like that. Once again going through and doing the 0.0 degrees just to make it look a bit better. Then I think I started with this part, and then I was going to go into the stairs for the exit. I think I went to the stairs to exit now. Oh, yeah, I did this thing. Then I went to the stairs to the exit. Yeah, these stairs were pretty big, and then I realized they were too steep, so I had to make them a little bit smaller. And then I went for concrete for the plaza area for this one. Like that. And then, yep, this is where I put down the floor under the entire coaster. So it looks a bit better. And then I put these fences around to, like, essentially keep people out. And then I moved these stairs over entirely. Made them a bit smaller. Yep, went through every single one. Changed that to make it smaller so that it all matched up. And then I put this under part. This part was really weird. I didn't like how it turned out, I'm not gonna lie. Because if you look at it, it turns out really weird. Yeah, I did a ton of crap. As you can tell, even recording the voiceover, I was not confident at all. It was a lot of tedious work and making sure that all of it was right. And then, yep, just went to finish that. And then I started working on like the poles and stuff around the outside, making sure all of that is good while putting everything up. And then I had to like make sure to position everything correctly. Make sure I had to position everything correctly and make sure it'll look good. And then I added a roof and added a trim around the roof. Yeah, and it was a white trim with wood. And then alright, and then after that I was just checking all this, checking about just using automatic supports instead of building them myself, and then I thought, you know what, these would look bad with normal supports and also didn't really work. Then I just added lights to that. Then I went in and added the poles, which look really bad, I'm not gonna lie, they look terrible. It does not look great. And I'm not really great at that, so it's not my best work, obviously. And yeah, and then I had to move it down for the stairs. Make sure all that looked good. Yeah, and going down on the stairs and stuff, it all turned out looking pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. The way the slants work, it's like not proportionate, it's too tall, and a lot of stuff like that. But I guess this isn't really about the theming, it's more about the roller coaster itself, so it's not that big of a deal in my opinion. Yeah, it took a while to like get the ankle right, do all that, make sure everything looks subpar at least, instead of looking terrible, like usual. Yep. And then I decided to go around and put some trees around the front area and stuff like that, just so it looked good. Make sure it didn't look like absolute garbage. Made sure there's at least some scenery. And it looked alright, in my opinion, with the nature, and then finishing up the guardrails, and then I moved them over to the other side and started moving on the guardrails for the exit stairs. If you couldn't already tell, if you have ever been to Carowinds, it's kind of based off of the ride Ricochet. It's kind of my entire basis, I'm not gonna lie, on this ride. And then went with the parts down, all that, and put more posts. As you can see, just looking at my character, it's like really tall compared to me. I guess it's kind of fun on this side. Then I just rode the ride again, because why not? Why not ride the ride? After that, I decided that was too slow, and I changed that part of the roller coaster so it looked better. And it was faster, just so it wasn't super slow, because if it's too slow, then it's just not fun. And then, I think, yeah, I was just getting ready to start doing supports and stuff like that, so I got this nice blueprint from this guy. He makes, like, all the main custom supports I get are from this guy. They all look really good. So I was just getting this and getting some basic supports down at first. Nothing too much, just so, once again, it would look nice. But more just for structure, because, you know, there's literally nothing there right now. I needed something, and then I was trying doing these custom brakes that came with this kit, but it just didn't look good at all, so I decided to just not go through with it. And I just put some basic stuff. I guess I kind of just sat there contemplating life. Then I started again on working on some more supports. Just putting some pretty basic stuff down. I didn't end up putting any catwalks down because I was trying to get this done, you know, so I could post it the next day, have it scheduled for the next day, so that would all align right. Yeah, just putting down pretty basic supports for this first part, and then I put down some like more wild mouse type coaster supports later on. Yeah, as you can see, these bigger supports are later going to connect to the top parts of the ride. Then right here, once I came back, I was already working on this part where I was connecting the supports to the ride and making sure that those looked good for what they were, like making sure they were connecting at the right height, making sure they were the same on the both sides. And that ended up being good, and then I started adding more supports around, added a bit of custom supports that like were connecting to the bigger side, and had to just like connect those supports to the bigger supports that were there, and then just finishing up all the supports, adding them around the ride, making sure everything looks great and matches correctly with the ride and going down, and making sure to support the ride because that's what they're there for. Then we added one more on the roof here. Then there was a few more that went down. I was just testing to see if I was blueprintable because, you know, I would rather make this a blueprint under my ride, but I wasn't able to. Then I was making these footers that were pretty basic, and then I added the bolts. And I messed up, and then I had to redo it. And then I just put all these footers on the ground, like fun. Which is the last thing I did on this ride before I finished off the video. Just put all these footers down, making sure they